Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here with a brand new thoughts video for all of you guys, and yeah, I do indeed apologize if I took way too long to actually get this out to you guys. I was extremely busy with, of course, my life in college, as I normally do, as well as other projects that I need to work on, and plus, I've already started up my month-long preparations for Retro GameCon that's going to be coming up pretty soon, but I'll be sure to give out more details on that in a update video that I'll soon do, but you pretty much get the idea. But I'm not going to leave you guys without one single little thoughts video that I would do right for you guys, so yeah, I kind of figured that's exactly what I'm going to be talking about, so yeah, I'm of course gonna go ahead and jump right into it. I think right around today, seeing of how there's nothing much for me to do this weekend, seeing of how I was currently on fall break during my time at college, I figured it makes sense if I would take the opportunity to actually get myself caught up on some movies that came out not too long ago, just so that I can brush them through, get them out of the way, and of course, take care of all those, so yeah, I figured that's exactly what I thought I would do right about now, so yeah, I guess today I'm of course going to be talking about a brand new movie from DreamWorks Animation that just came out not too long ago that I did manage to finally get a chance to go see right around earlier today, and of course, it is of course the brand new movie from them, simply known as Abominable, yeah. So yeah, I do have a bit of a pretty interesting story that I wanted to share with you guys relating to this movie. For starters, I think I did see the trailer for this movie, and it did pique my interest a bit, and oddly enough, the movie did came out not too long ago, and it did get somewhat good reviews at the time, and I'm not sure of how well it did at the box office, but yeah, I think it's pretty much what I can say, and pretty much of an interesting story. I was originally going to see this movie right around September, right around the time after I finished watching It Chapter 2, so yeah, that was the plan at first, but unfortunately, something's got in the way that prevented me from seeing it around the time it came out, so yeah, I didn't necessarily see the movie when it first came out, or right around last month in particular, because, yeah, oddly enough, I was too busy with other stuff, and yeah, It Chapter 2 was the only one that I saw last month, so but yeah, I guess if anything, I figure now is the right time to actually do so, so yeah, I figure that's exactly what I'll be talking about, and yeah, like I said, just right around earlier today, I did manage to go see it, and I bet all of you guys are wondering, what do I think of this movie after I finished watching it? Well, I know I'm gonna sound crazy for saying this, but I actually thought this movie is, well, good. Not great, just good. So yeah, I guess you can pretty much know exactly what I mean by when I say that. I don't think it's necessarily the best movie I have seen this year, but I will say this right now, this one I thought was actually pretty darn good, so yeah, I guess it's pretty much what I have to say in a nutshell. Oh, yeah. Feels so good to actually drink that bottle of water, because you would not believe the amount of popcorn that's going straight to my hips right about now, which is pretty painful, so yeah, I think I might as well go ahead and talk about some of the stuff in this movie, for all of you guys, as I normally do on the on these thoughts videos. First of all, story-wise, it's pretty much something basic. Just a bunch of kids discovering something that's either supernatural or fictional or something out of the ordinary, or or hell, all three of them in a row, and pretty much their main job right about now is, of course, going on a massive journey to actually take that creature home, to which in this case, in the movie, seeing how the title of it is Abominable, it is, of course, the Abominable Snowman, also known as the Yeti. So yeah, it's pretty much basically that storyline in a nutshell, which I will have to say it's actually not that bad in this version. And in fact, I know it has been done several times in other movies that actually did it much better, but yeah, I don't mind it in particular, and even in this movie, I say it is actually a somewhat clever storyline to actually tackle for once, but still, if you're going to do it, try to actually do something creative and new with it, which I actually do admire for a bit, so yeah, I think I will have to say, story-wise, for while it has been done several times in other movies, I will have to say they did do a pretty good job with what they have provided for this one, which I will give it credit for, and not to mention, I think one thing I will say, going into another aspect, is that pretty much aside from that, the characters well, not particularly the characters, I'll get to them later, I think I will say the actors that are in this movie I have to say they actually do pull off some pretty good performances in my opinion. I mean, sure, it's not really Oscar-worthy by the looks of it, but I still say they actually did pull off a pretty good performance, and the one thing that really got me by surprise is, of course, one of the main villains is, of course, played by Eddie Izzard, which I did find really quite fascinating in my opinion. I know Eddie Izzard is actually a pretty good comedian, and he has provided some good roles in other movies before, so well, okay, not all of them in particular, but he still can pull off a pretty good performance, and oddly enough, when I see his character on screen, I think for a minute there, I thought I was watching Christopher Walken in this role, but nope. It's clearly Eddie Izzard. Nothing much else. So yeah, I guess aside from that, the actors did pull off some pretty good performances from my perspective, which I actually do admire. But the one thing I say is that really absolutely fascinating and really incredible to watch is, of course, the animation is phenomenal. Yeah. In fact, before you guys ask, yes, I know this movie is, of course, in collaboration with not just DreamWorks, but also another animation studio called Pearl Studios, which I have to say, they're both pretty good fits for this movie, and yeah, like I said, the animation, I have to say, it is phenomenal, hands down. Just the way on how the characters look, to how pretty the background is, especially the nice scenery in China, as well as the Himalayas, and of course the special effects, I have to say, they are absolutely incredible. I absolutely love that, hands down, and I think pretty much the one thing I can't say for animated films in a nutshell is that I think they can actually be good for not only trying to be realistic, like trying to be actual movies, but also adding a touch of surrealism to actually make it visually interesting. And I'm actually really glad that this film actually did do exactly that, to which in the end I did find really fascinating. And not only that, it's even provided some pretty good writing, I have to say, just from the dialogue to the action, it's actually pretty good, and not to mention, it did provide some pretty good comedy, as there were some parts in this movie that I did find myself laughing at a bit, which I did find it really fascinating, so I'm glad on how well this movie actually took it through. So yeah, and not only that, I really love on how well shot this movie is. Like, everything I see from every camera angle that I see is actually really, really incredible. I absolutely love it, hands down, and yeah, I think it's pretty much really fascinating to watch. So yeah, I guess there's that. don't want my throat to get a little bit dried up every time I talk, so yeah, and of course, not only that, I think apart from everything I've actually have to say with this movie, the most important thing I have to say, pretty much the relationship between both the Abominable Snowman in the movie himself, to which he goes by the name of Everest, great name by the way, as, you know, ties into Mount Everest, so that's actually a good fit. So, yeah, but beside the point, I think the most important thing I can say about this movie in a nutshell is that I really love the relationship between not just Everest, but also the main human characters in this movie, which I do indeed apologize if I never said any of the characters' names, so, but yeah, I think I will have to say I really love the relationship between both the main characters in this movie as well as Everest, which I actually did find it quite fascinating in my opinion, as it actually did kind of remind me of the relation, pretty much back when I saw Bumblebee, and I really love the relationship between both Bumblebee himself as well as Haley Steinfeld's character in that movie, so yeah, I guess if anything, I actually do love the relationship between the main characters and Everest in this film as much as I love the relationship between both Bumblebee and Haley Steinfeld's character in Bumblebee, so kind of an odd comparison that I had to endure, but I think it's pretty much what I got out of this movie, but is this movie perfect? No, not really. I think there are some, I think there was one major hiccup that I did find with this movie that I just did find quite noticeable, is that, believe it or not, as much as I love the actors pulling off good performances, the characters, I will have to say, they're just not that interesting in my opinion, so I really don't know what is really up with that. I think pretty much every time I actually do see them on screen, I mean, for while they do provide some pretty good emotion out of all of them, I think just the way that they are portrayed in this movie, it's just not that interesting. I mean, pretty much, I think it's, pretty much from what I recall, I think they've actually done some stuff that we normally see in other movies, going back a bit to the premise that I talked about with this one guy. I think pretty much all they do is actually be all happy and smiling, while at the same time mixing up a bit with some darker and somber moments every once in a while. But yeah, I don't mind that. But yeah, like I said, it's just not that interesting in my opinion. So yeah, maybe I think they could have actually spiced things up a bit with of course a ton more emotion in this movie, which would have made them stand out even more. But yeah, I just don't think it really grasped me as much for this one. But yeah, that's actually one major hiccup that I found with this movie. But I guess it never stopped me from liking it anyway. So yeah, I guess I will say for my final thoughts on this movie, I thought Abominable was actually a pretty good movie to actually witness, and I'm really glad that I finally saw it after quite some time now. But yeah, I guess if anything, I guess in the end, it's got some pretty good stuff that I really like, but at the other times, it does have a small little package of some things that I just don't think has a lot of charm or charisma to it. So yeah, I think it's pretty much what I got out of this movie in particular. It's not the best in my opinion, but I still think it's actually a pretty good one to actually watch, and I do recommend it hands down. So I guess if it's something up your alley, then I say definitely go see it. I'm sure you'll actually get a good time after watching it. So yeah, for my final score right about now, I am of course going to give this movie a 7.5 out of 10. Like I said, not really the best I've seen this year, but it's still pretty good to watch. So I guess if it's something up your alley and you want to experience it for yourself, well, then do not worry about a thing. Grab your coat as well as your climbing gear as well as a map to Mount Everest to see this movie for yourself. So yeah. Yeah. That felt good. So yeah, that's pretty much all what I have to say about Abominable. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this thoughts video for all of you guys. And of course, let me know in the comment section below on what you thought of this movie, if you've actually seen it, as well as leaving me constructive criticism and or advice on how I can improve my videos in the near future. And of course, feel free to send me an email if you have any questions for me, or if you want to book me for a con or event. And of course, follow me on my social media sites such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and plenty of others that I have provided if you want to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases. And of course, subscribe to this YouTube channel, as well as turn on the notification bell if you want to see more videos like this in the near future. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this special thoughts video. I know it's not really much what you would expect, but yeah, I think it's pretty much the same thing that I got out of seeing this movie in a nutshell. So yeah, I guess it's pretty much what I have to say. So yeah. And yeah, like I said, I'll probably do more of these thoughts videos pretty soon once I do eventually go see plenty more movies that are going to be, some of which that have already came out and some that will be coming out for the rest of this month. So yeah, probably by the time I do eventually get to them, I will let you guys know once I do another thoughts video for all of you guys. So we'll probably know where it goes from there. So yeah, that's literally about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.